BioVivacious. As you know, BioVivacious is a YouTube channel dedicated to clear fundamental concepts of biosciences. Today we are going to deal with another fundamental concepts, especially in electron transport chain. That is, we are going to deal with the various components of electron transport chain. So when you look at the various components of electron transport chain, we should understand the purpose of electron transport chain is to transfer electrons. It wants to transfer electrons from one component to the next component. So in this process of electron transport, if the components which are capable of doing it must have certain characteristics. We will look at that. Prior to looking at that electron transport, let us try to understand what all can transfer electrons. One of the fundamental concepts of electron transport is to understand what makes electrons to transfer. So we understand that electrons can be transferred from electronegative to an electropositive state depending on the standard electron potential. Electrons can be transferred in three ways. Which are the three ways by which it can be transferred? The first way to transfer electron is as electrons. You will see this kind of electron transport taking place in the electron transport chain, especially when Fe3 plus is converted to Fe2 plus. So therefore, from the ferric state to ferrous state, add an electron, it becomes the reduced form. So therefore, an oxidation reduction reaction is associated with the transfer of electron. One way to transfer. The second way to transfer electron is as hydrogen. So remember, a hydrogen, this is equal to an H plus and an electron. So therefore, it can be transferred as a hydrogen molecule. The third way to transfer an electron is as a hydride ion. So hydride, what does that mean? It has a hydrogen, you add one more electron to this. So this is a hydride ion. So you will see such hydride ions in NADH. So NADH has a hydride ion. So therefore, these are the three ways by which electrons can be transferred. So therefore, this also means that H plus cannot transfer electrons because it is deficit of an electron. So this is not an electron transfer. So therefore, the understanding of a reducing equivalent, whenever we use the term NADPH as a reducing equivalent, which means it has electrons that can be transferred, which can be taken part in a oxidation reduction reaction. This is the meaning of reducing equivalent. Let us look at the various components of electron transport chain. In this complex mechanism, there are two types of transporters. One is hydrogen transporters and the second one is electron transporters. We will look at some of the most basic molecules as hydrogen transporters as well as electron transporters. For example, hydrogen transporters, the two molecules we are going to look at is, one is FAD as well as FMN, other one is ubiquinone. So these are the two hydrogen transporters we will be looking at. With regard to electron transport, we will look at two molecules. One is iron sulfur proteins and the second one is cytochromes. So let us look at the detailed structure of these molecules starting with the FAD. The first component of a hydrogen transporter is FAD molecule. Let us look at the structure of FAD in order to understand what makes it capable of transporting hydrogen. If you look at the structure of FAD, you have a basic molecule which is derived from vitamin B2, that is riboflavin, that is isoalloxacin. So to isoalloxacin, a carbohydrate, that is B-ribitol is added. Okay, so when you add a D-ribitol to isoalloxacin, this becomes riboflavin. This is riboflavin. Now to D-ribitol, add a phosphate group. When you add a phosphate group, this whole unit becomes what you call it the FMN. Now to the inorganic phosphate, when you add an AMP molecule, it becomes, this whole unit becomes FAD. You see the difference between FMN and FAD. Now let us look at the structure of isoalloxacin, which is responsible for carrying hydrogen. So that structure is the most important for us to understand the component of electron transport system. So that component, it looks like this. There are three ring structures, CH3, CH3, this is the structure of isoalloxacin. Now this isoalloxacin is capable of carrying two hydrogens. So therefore it can carry one hydrogen here, another hydrogen here. Now this process of carrying two hydrogen, it is through two steps, not in a single step. What can happen is, first of all, this isoalloxacin can carry one hydrogen, that is one electron plus one hydrogen it can accept. When it accepts one hydrogen and one electron, you see what is going to happen to this structure. So therefore, this structure, let me write it here. CH3, okay, so remember there was a double bond here, so this double bond continues to be there. One hydrogen is added here, one hydrogen is added here. So therefore, and it is developing a positive charge here, is developing a positive charge because one hydrogen is added. Now there is a shift in this double bond occurring, so this becomes, oxygen becomes negatively charged, so there is a partial double bond developed here. So this is a semi-aldehyde form. So this becomes a semiquinone. So semiquinone, remember this is half charged. So it is, in other words, FADH. Now this is highly reactive. Highly reactive. Now let us see what happens when we add one more hydrogen to this. We will make correction in this and then we will proceed. So therefore, this semiquinone form will accept one more hydrogen, and then let us see what happens. So this becomes NH and this also becomes NH. Okay, so this is normal, becomes NH, double bond is shifted from here to here. Okay, so therefore you can see that two hydrogen has been accepted by this molecule. It got reduced. So this got reduced. This has become FADH2. As we have seen, in the semiquinone form, it is highly reactive. That is one of the reasons FAD molecule is always bound to a protein, bound to an enzyme. It is tightly covalently bound because the protein will protect the semi-aldehyde form. That is the purpose of binding FAD always to a protein molecule. So therefore we have seen how this can act as a hydrogen carrier in the electron transport chain. Always remember that FADH2 take part mostly in two kinds of reaction. It takes part in two kinds of reaction. especially when it has to draw electrons or draw hydrogen from two atoms. That is, you will see that is happening in the case of conversion of succinate into fumarate. It is creating a double bond. In the second location where FADH2 plays a role is when it has to reduce a disulfide bond. For example, you will see that it is happening in lipoic acid. So these are the two places normally FADH2 plays a role. So we have looked at the first hydrogen transporter.